Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just became the richest player in Toronto Blue Jays history, and honestly, the expectations couldn't be higher right now. We're talking about a 14-year, $500 million contract that basically says this guy is supposed to be the face of the franchise for the next decade and a half. And you know what? Based on what we saw last season, especially in October, maybe he's actually worth every single penny. Here's the thing that really gets me fired up about Vlad. This wasn't some straightforward negotiation where both sides knew they'd get a deal done. Remember last offseason? The uncertainty was killing us. Everyone in Toronto was refreshing their Twitter feeds every 5 minutes, wondering if the Blue Jays were actually going to lock down their best player, or if we were watching him play out the string before bolting to free agency. The team set this deadline at the start of spring training, and when we got close to that date, without a deal, man, you could feel the panic setting in across the entire fan base. Then boom, early April rolls around and suddenly we've got our guy for 14 years. $500 million, the longest contract in franchise history, the biggest commitment the organization has ever made to a single player. And you've got to think about what that means psychologically, right? The Blue Jays basically looked at Vladdy and said, we're building everything around you. We trust you to be the centerpiece of championship teams for the rest of your 20s and well into your 30s. Now let's talk about what he actually did with that contract year hanging over his head. 680 plate appearances during the regular season, and he put up a slash line of 292.381 for .467. The average is solid, the on-base percentage is excellent, but here's where it gets interesting. Only 23 home runs. That's his lowest total since 2020, and for a guy who's capable of launching 48 bombs, like he did in 2021, you'd think that would be concerning. But it really isn't when you look at the complete picture. His weighted runs created plus was 137, meaning he was 37% better than league average. He accumulated 3.9 wins above replacement, according to Fangraphs. And get this, the guy was a Gold Glove finalist at first base. Let me repeat that. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who early in his career had people questioning whether he could even stay at third base, is now getting recognition as one of the best defensive first basemen in the American League. That's development. That's a player taking his craft seriously and making real improvements. But I've got to be honest with you about something. The end of his regular season was rough. Really rough. We're talking about his final 137 plate appearances where he slashed .264, .314, .344 with only 2 home runs. His weighted runs created plus during that stretch was 83, meaning he was actually below league average. For a guy who just signed for $500 million, that's the kind of slump that would normally have talk radio going absolutely nuclear. Except none of that mattered. None of it. Because when October baseball started, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. transformed into something else entirely. I'm talking video game numbers here. A .397 batting average in the postseason, an on-base percentage of .494, a slugging percentage of .795, 8 home runs in just 89 plate appearances. His weighted runs created plus was .241, which is just absurd. That means he was 141% better than league average when the games actually mattered most. Those 8 postseason home runs? That's a franchise record. Nobody in Blue Jays history has ever hit more home runs in a single postseason. Not Joe Carter, not Jose Bautista, not any of the legends. And the cherry on top was him taking home the American League Championship Series MVP award. When the lights were brightest and the pressure was highest, Vlad delivered in ways that justify every dollar of that massive contract. The durability factor is something we can't overlook either. Since 2021, this guy hasn't played fewer than 156 games in a season. Think about that consistency in today's game, where teams are constantly managing workloads and guys are hitting the injured list for hangnails. Guerrero just shows up every single day ready to produce. Last season alone, he started 133 games at first base with some designated hitting mixed in when they wanted to give him a break from the field. So what can we realistically expect next season? Vladdy has been inconsistent over his career. His elite seasons in 2021 and 2024 had him posting a weighted runs created plus around 160. Those are superstar numbers, but then you've got seasons where he's still good, don't get me wrong, but he's more in that 130 range. The difference between those two levels is the difference between an MVP candidate and just a really good player. What makes me optimistic about 2026 is that he's already shown he can elevate his game when it matters. The postseason performance wasn't a fluke. It was sustained excellence over multiple series against the best teams in baseball. He proved he's capable of being that guy who carries a team to a championship. And now he's got the security of knowing he's set for life financially.